I'm Darren Karp, and I've got some very special guests today from VH1's The Bitch Who Stole Christmas. I even got it wrong. I've got Krysta Rodriguez and Andy Ridings on the line. How you guys doing? Good to see you both.
Great. Thanks.
Yeah.
All right, Krysta, The Bitch Who Stole Christmas airs tomorrow on VH1. Maybe you're to blame for stealing all the holiday spirit here, but the film features 20 former RuPaul Drag Race contestants, one of my favorite shows. How did this opportunity come to you all?
I had just landed on vacation with my family, and I got an email that said, can you call us? From my agents. I said, just tell me what the dates are. Just tell me when I have to leave this vacation. And they were like, in 2 days. So I said, okay. So I didn't even know what the project was at that point. I was just like, I know if they're asking me to miss my vacation, it's something that I want to do. So they sent me the script, and I laughed and laughed and just thought, this is something I have never seen, that I haven't ever got to do, and it's an opportunity that I couldn't pass up. So in a couple days, I was on a plane to California.
So they stole Christmas and they stole your vacation.
And they stole my family vacation. What a...
what here. Well, what was it like for you two working with the Drag Race stars? Were either of you fans of the show before you started this?
I was a fan of the show. I think Andy has said that he came in a little more...
green?
A little greener.
A little greener, yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't like an all-out. I had started sort of mid. It was a pandemic sort of guilty pleasure for me. So it was even more substantial to see these people that I had just been watching. And that was a really special and surreal experience. But yeah, big fans of them, and even bigger fans now.
Well, Andy, let's talk to you a little bit. You know, I know you're a little bit maybe more green in the Drag Race world. Tell me a little bit about The Bitch Who Stole Christmas. What can we expect?
Well, as you said, it's the movie with the most drag queens ever. I don't know if that's a fact.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that's probably true.
That's a fact. So you could definitely expect a holiday movie unlike any other. And it stars RuPaul, which I could watch RuPaul tie shoes, and that would be fine. So I think that it's just going to be a good time, a lot of laughs, and some heart, and something you've never seen before.
Hopefully a little tea and a little shade, because that really makes the holidays for me, especially in the Drag Race world. And Krysta, why do you think this movie is really so special? Would you both say that this is kind of the first iteration of a Christmas movie of its kind? I know that seems weird to say because there's more than 1,000 Christmas movies, but what do you think, Krysta?
Well, I think what it does so great is it sends up the tropes. So it immediately, within the first few lines, I'm laughing already because I know what it's referencing. So it's referential to something that we all have we find a guilty pleasure, but this way we're sort of illuminating that it's a guilty pleasure and poking fun at everybody and ourselves for having that sort of, Hallmark movie marathon, Coco, everything works out perfectly in the end kind of thing. So and the problems are very silly and they're solved very quickly. And that's sort of what our movie is trying to send up. So I think that is what makes it really different. There are definitely movies that are irreverent, but this one is really following to the letter what we love to hate about silly Christmas movies. And then I think having control of that narrative makes it get even more interesting and shows how complicated all of these things are and how talented everyone is at writing that fine line. So I think that's really a cool part of the movie. And then I think it moves the representation factor up 20-fold, since we have so many queens.
Andy, what surprised you about Drag Race culture with this movie? Did anything kind of shock you, or did it make you want to put on a pair of high heels or glue down your eyebrows? What was the feeling, Andy?
Yeah, all of that, and I did. And my wife told me to leave that, just go do that somewhere else. But I think that the fan base of Drag Race is just like any other, or unlike any other. And I think for that reason, this movie has long legs with high heels attached to them.
That's a really good point. How important is it to start portraying drag queens and drag culture in more TV, film, and even more importantly, kind of in holiday movies, which tend to be a little bit more maybe heteronormative, as they say, Andy?
Well, I think this film in particular isn't like those other films. Obviously, you know, the themes and the people involved are it's unlike any other holiday movie, and I think that's going to be really interesting to watch. And yeah, I can't wait to see it.
What about you, Krysta? How important is it for you to kind of represent maybe a different kind of culture, different kind of cohort than maybe we're normally seeing during the holidays?
Yeah, I think was really impressive with me getting to be up close and personal with all the queens is what, you know, the artistry that is involved, and especially with Drag Race, the show. I mean, that's 5 different reality shows in one. That's Project Runway, that's American Idol, that's, you know, there's so many things that they have to do to create the persona that is drag, and it's not frivolous, it's not easy, it's a real profession, you know. And I realize how few, I come from the theater world, and I thought, oh, it's funny that I don't know more queens from the theater world, and it's because you can't do both. It's an entirely own, you know, art form that you have to dedicate your entire life to. You have to be ready at a moment's notice. You have to do things to your, you know, physical body that lend to better drag. I mean, the things that they have to do to really make themselves perform at their highest is very aspirational and impressive to watch. And so I think giving them a platform to show all of the facets of their performance and their artistry is what Drag Race did, and what this movie is even taking even further, because not only are they getting to show that artistry, they are acting. They're showing now that there is true actions behind them. They're playing women. They're not even playing drag queens. In Drag Race, we see the representation of them as their male bodies and then their drag personas. In this movie, they're getting to inhabit characters fully in drag, which we very rarely get to see if it's not being referential to the fact that it's drag. And so I think that is a really subversive and exciting thing about this movie that I think people might not even realize they're seeing for the first time.
Well, I can't wait. Krysta, Andy, thank you so much. I can't wait to watch this movie and put on a pair of high heels and look half as good as these queens. I really appreciate it.
We can only ever look as half as good.
People, you can watch The Bitch Who Stole Christmas tonight at 9 p.m. on VH1. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be entertaining.